Most Call of Dragons players are asking the wrong question. They ask, what should I upgrade next? But the real question is, where does the most value actually come, right? Heroes, artifacts, or actually warpits, because if you invest in the wrong one you can actually waste months of progressions, especially if you are free to play player. So in this video I'm going to break down which one actually gives you the best value in early game, mid game, and late game, right? We are going to compare heroes, artifacts, and warpits in every stages of the Call of Dragons gameplay. First of all, until we're gonna move forward and start the heroes, artifacts, and warpits comparisons, we have to speak what's actually early game, what's actually mid game, and what's late game. In my opinion, early game in Call of Dragons comes when you start the game and you are unlocking tier 5, tier 4 troops, right? It's not actually when you unlock, when you are moving forward and unlocking tier 2s, tier 3s, and tier 4 is basically like soon you are going to go to the mid game, right? So basically, on early game, if we are comparing the heroes, artifacts, and warpits, early game features of the game will be different, mid game will be different, and late game will be different. Mid game starts when you finish defensive formation 2 to max level, same for first aid 1, same for defensive formations 2 to max level, and same for first aid 2. When you have these, all of these ones to the max level, and you are slowly moving forward to unlocking tier 5, like for example, if you're archer, you have sharpens points on 10 or at least on 9, that's mid game, right? And yeah, the last one, the late game, in my opinion, the late game starts when you unlocked your main troop type. For example, for me, it was tier 5 archers, and of course, during the late game, strengths of the accounts actually change because late game requires different kind of investments and different kind of features of the game to get highest value, right? So yeah, we already know what's early game, what's mid game, and what's late game, and we can easily move forward by talking about early game priorities, right? We are comparing heroes, the importance of heroes, investment in heroes, right? Like your gems in investments or your funds, because you can actually be pay to pay player here. We are comparing two artifacts and two warpits, right? First of all, we have to mention that for free-to-play players, investing in legendary heroes on early game starts when you get to level 8, when you can actually get one legendary hero token per day, right? From this point, you can actually start moving around, thinking where you want to put your legendary tokens, right? That's for the heroes part. For the artifacts part, unfortunately, you can do much. You can only try your maximum to get all the artifacts from the normal draw. You are basically not going to waste gems on artifact events, because you are basically collecting as much sentinel arrows and treaties in order for you to get to tier 5 troops as fast as possible, right? And the last one is warpits, and you are getting the all the basic warpits, right? Which is Snowpeak Rock, Sapphire Phaedrix, Sand Lizard, Venomous Lizard, and so on. And even, of course, Golden Rock, right? Well, in early game, my advice will be that the highest value you can actually get by investing your gems, your time, or your funds will be on heroes, right? Call of Dragons is a PvP gameplay. It's a mass open field PvP gameplay, and the only thing which will actually give us fun in this game are heroes, right? Of course, I have advice for the free-to-play players. Basically, they have to start thinking about what their main troop type, right? It's archers, it's mages, infantry, cavalry, depending on your gameplay and style, right? Why it's important, especially for free-to-play players, you won't gonna have enough legendary tokens to awaken every single heroes in Call of Dragons, right? Especially if you are not spending in this game. For spenders, well, you can have two main troop types, right? Like, for example, infantry and cavalry, archers and mages. That's the plus of being spender in this game, right? So you understood that, for example, you are archer player, and on early stages of the game you have Kinara, you have Nico, On epic heroes, you have Gwenwyn. These are the heroes which you should invest. Of course, right? Awakening in epic heroes is not a problem. It's not much. It's not happy birthday, and we finished the game. Awakening legendary heroes are the most important, and in my opinion, the highest value for the beginners, for early game players, you can actually get from the heroes, right? For artifacts, unfortunately, we only have in early game the ability to get artifacts from the normal drone. I would never advise to spend gems, especially if you are on early game. You have too much things to spend gems on, and of course it will be a horrible choice, because unlocking artifacts and making them 5 level, it should not be your priority on early game, right? It won't gonna change much. Even like Shadow Blades, Heart of Gamasi, Phoenix Eye, Tear of Arbon, Fang of Ashkari will do its job, right? So early game, I would say the lowest priority out of these three would be artifacts. The last one, which are the war pets, actually there is pretty good war pets in early games to actually start investing your time if you are a free-to-play player. These ones are these from Berserker Drake to Stripe Bear, basically, and all the lizards which we have in the game are all early game war pits, right? Of course, there is a couple of good choices for the mages, like Sapphire Fairdrake will be always amazing. Golden Rock will be always amazing for cavalry. Sapphire for mages, and not really sure about Snow-Peak Rock, right? Because of the defense break, that's we are not really sure. And same goes for infantry warped. Might be even like, for example, the Venomous Lizard will be the best infantry warped in early game, and Sand Lizard will be nice for basically every single troop type in the game, right? I would say the second tier of value you can get is from the war pits, right? Because you will spend a lot of time making this war pits 3-star, the main talents. Then you have to move to a secondary skills increasing stars, because every single star which you're gonna increase on your war pit matters. It's a long-term investment which will be for sure amazing, right? Artifacts, basically, if you are investing in artifacts in early game, you are making a huge mistake. You're gonna miss out on a lot of things in this game, right? So if you're gonna start working on your warpets, make like Pain Bloom 2-star or like Exuberance 2-star, you're already putting the ground for your success in a late game, right? So I would say in early stages of the game, if we are comparing the most value which you can get from heroes, artifacts, and warpets, number one value I would put as a heroes. That will be the best value investments for you. If you're gonna put into the heroes, the next second one will be warpets. And the third one will be the artifacts, right? Because it's just too random, and in early game you should not really put your attentions too much on a random things. It will be a big mistake in my opinion. So that's basically for early game, right? In mid game, and we know mid game starts when we are basically close to unlocking tier 5, basically 4.5 is the mid game for you, which means you have already awakened at least 2 legendary heroes, right? You should have at least 1 3-star warped, and 3-star warped means you have like main talent skills 3-star, and you might even unlock like some of the artifacts, some exclusive artifacts by saving forged keys in Forge of Light, or maybe you got lucky in some event and you got some new artifacts unlocked, right? And yeah, what should be the best value out of heroes, artifacts, and warpeds? In my opinion, heroes still is important, right? Because this game can use 5 marks at the same time. You should still have a semi-focus on heroes, but heroes would go to number 2, right? Number 1 would be, well, warpeds. Number 1 will be warpeds, because in my opinion, to max out warped, it costs way more time, especially for the free-to-play players, and for pay-to-play players, it requires some time and a lot more money, in my opinion, right? That's how I look at the game. So you have 1 warped, which is 3-star. Now it's time for you to go hard mode on war pets, and in mid game I would say war pets should be your priority. Making couple of war pets 3-star at least, like for late game, preparing yourself to late game, like as I have, for example, Snowpeak Rogue 3-star, and some good stars. Of course, better is Shadow Manticore because I have 3 stars here. Second one, third one, and I'm finalizing the fourth one. And you should have 5 max star main talent skill warped. So you have to prepare your best until the late game, when you already have tier 5 troops. Your opponents have most of them tier 5 troops, and the small margins are what's left, and that's of course warpeds, right? In mid game, I believe you should have your main priority as a warpeds. And the second highest priority should be artifacts, right? It's time for us to at least unlock some of your main troop type artifacts. For example, in mid game, I started unlocking Gilded Crossbow, Iron Tusk, Roaring Rager, Rattle Spear. Before, my main focus was like basically Shadow Blades, which is not even level 5 after 1000 days of gameplay. Heart of Gamasi just level 2. So in mid game, I started working on Forge of Light because I already had maxed out Watchtower, which is 25, and the Rally Beacon, which requires gems to upgrade, right? So I had some free gems, and I started to try my luck in Forge of Light, and I unlocked some of the important artifacts, right? But here is one disclaimer: unlocking is basically enough. You should not really go full mode, spend all gems to make it level 5. Like whole of my gameplay, I had Gilded Crossbow level 1 and 2, and lately when I already in late game, I went for the increasing the levels of the artifacts. At first, unlocking it super important, and that's the highest value you can get by just unlocking the artifacts. So second highest value in mid game, in my eyes, that should be artifacts, and the third one goes to heroes. Why third one heroes? Because you should already be at least well, slowly you should be going for level 14. You have 2 legendary hero tokens. You have a lot of free gems. Lucky spins will be there, and from the mid game, it should be super easy to go and awaken third and fourth heroes, because you have already a system in your account, and you are slowly getting quite a good amount of hero tokens, and you already know your main troop type, so you should not really think too much about heroes in mid game, right? Because at least you have 2 legendary heroes from the early game which you have made, and that one march will already give you quite a good amount of merits, right? Well, that's basically enough for mid game and late game, right? Late game starts when you unlock tier 5 troops, when your opponents also, everybody has tier 5 troops, and only small margins are important, small percentages, small values which you can get from your hero pairs, right? So number one value in late game gameplay in Call of Dragons is warpeds. Warpeds are the main difference. Well, if in mid-game difference was to have 3-star main talent skill or 2-star main talent skill, in late game it matters if you have your secondary skills 3-star. Basically, when I increased Chain Strike 2-star to 3-star, I got randomly 10k more merits. Same 10k more merits. So basically, everybody has talents in 3-star in a late game. Only difference is who has the secondary skills as 3-stars, and I played this game more than 1000 days, and you can see my warpeds, my fighting warpeds. Only Shadow Manticore has secondary warped skills on 3-star, Snowpeak Rogue only 2-star, even like Bard Manticore only 1-star, because I'm right now my focusing on Wind Weasel, right? My current state is late game, that's what I'm talking about. And my best hero pair is Magrat and Zaida, because my Shadow Manticore is the best warped I have. That's what's the highest differences in late game, right? Warpeds should be your highest value investment in early game, and that's why we put in mid game number warped section so high, because you should prepare, because if you are a free-to-play player, it will be rough for you in late game without good warpeds. The second best priority in late game should be artifacts. should be artifacts, because now it's not enough for you to actually have just artifacts unlocked. You should make them 5 level, and you should unlock feature exemplar wish. Basically, you have to make your legendary artifacts red, which will add one more additional effects, and some of the artifacts additional effects are really amazing. So your second priority should be to make this artifacts level 5, because everybody has level 5 artifacts, and also to unlock exemplar wish by drawing in Forge of Light 2000 times. Currently I have close to 900 days, and you can see how rough it is for unlocking exemplar wish, even for me who played this game for such a long time, right? So the third one is heroes, because heroes idea changes in late games. Right now you are not focusing on only one hero pair, you are trying your best to have multiple hero pairs, legendary ones, and you are finding this the slowest and lowest margins, and those margins are, trust me, worth it, right? When you are already in late game, you have a lot of new events. You might get a recovery event in late game. Recovery event means that you are going to scrap the early game heroes tokens, and you're gonna put into the late game tokens, or late game heroes, right? That's how I randomly got my Freygar Awakened, I randomly got my Nico Awakened, and yeah, like Ruby is Awakened for me, Kinara is Awakened, and Zaida is Awakened. Also Freygar, right? So basically, in late game for heroes, you are going to try to have multiple marches, because in Call of Dragons you can play with 5 marches at the same time, and of course merits are increasing as you are increasing the amount of marches you are using in open field PvP, right? So yeah, in late game, number 1 Warped, number 2 and number 3 is really close. It can be easily heroes, and it can be easily artifacts, right? So yeah, of course, I want to hear what's your ideas about mid-game, early game, mid-game, and late-game investment values. That this was mine actually, and of course, I tried my best to explain why I think like this. And yep, as always, if you like the video, press like, subscribe, share. It always gives me more and more motivation to make more content for this game. I wish everybody an amazing day, morning, and night. We are going to see each other really soon. Bye bye and good luck.